And we're back to Backstage. I'm your host, Mr. Magic, with my guest, my good friend, Toni Robinson. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And this is a great way to start off season 2. It really is. And I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we talked about you going into the studio. Would this be your first album? I mean, I know you're on YouTube.
Yes, a couple of videos on YouTube.
You have some videos. But as far as album work and singles, anything else, do you have anything out?
No, not as yet.
So
this has been my first effort. And I'm looking forward to the experience. I mean, I have had some experience with recording before. Actually, Leroy Simmons is his very first album.
Oh, yes, yes.
And it was an album.
An actual vinyl. I remember
yes,
that.
Which I still have.
Wow. You got to get that put on CD. I need that because, as a matter of fact, folks, I'm not going to burst your bubble here because Leroy is a good friend of ours. He is the president of the Bermuda Entertainment Union. He will be on the show coming up in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. And if I can get that from you, I want that.
Well, he may have one.
Well,
I think yes.
Well, I don't think. Well, we'll find out because
yes.
I want the actual. I want to hold the album up and show people what a vinyl record looks like.
Yes,
yes,
absolutely.
I remember that. I do remember.
I traveled to Florida. It literally traveled there, recorded, and just got on a plane and came back home. I was exhausted, but it was so much fun.
Well, then, back in the day, we really didn't have the recording facilities here in Bermuda.
Yeah.
I mean, you could record on a reel-to-reel. A reel-to-reel is this big, anyway.
It's like, what is he talking about? What's a reel-to-reel?
Do you know that back in the day, having a house box, having an entertainment system in your house consisted of a reel-to-reel, an 8-track player, and a record player.
Well, why don't we talk about the little stereos that were in a console, and you lifted the lid up,
record player on top, and TV down below.
Yes, well, we didn't have a television down below, but there was, you put your record on there.
Big 12-inch woofs on it. Not woofers, woofs.
Yes.
On this side. So let's get back to your album.
I want one of those.
For nostalgic reasons?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if you can find one.
My grandmother had one.
Yeah, mine too. My grandmother had the one, like I said, and they had the.
And you played the little 45s.
45s.
And put that little
45s
piece.
were that size. Yeah. LPs were, they were that size.
Gosh.
So you're going to be in the studio. Who's going to be producing this for you?
Actually, I'm looking to do this overseas.
Okay.
Possibly with Daywin, looking to hook up with them, and because they have a great package that would help. So looking to get this done. Because I found when I was abroad with Mount Zion, there were Americans like, if they enjoy what you do,
they want it.
Do you have a CD? Do you have a CD?
Yeah.
And because they will buy it.
Yeah.
And I've also found it's an entree, or it's like your entrance into in order to get into certain doors. I've had folks say over the years, oh, you should be singing overseas and that kind of thing. Yes, it's a great thing. But it's not something that you can just easily
get into.
But I have a good friend who lives in the United States. Her name is Christine Sinclair, and she sings full time. And she, gave me some really good advice. She said, Toni, if you're looking to travel overseas, of course you have to have product. Have something. She said you may have to travel on your own dime in the beginning.
Yes.
But once folks hear you, and they like what you do, they just like who you are as a person, because it's not just about singing. There are individuals who sing very well, but it's an entire package. It's who you are as a person.
But you have an advantage. You got God on your side.
Okay. And he just makes a way.
This is it. This is it. I mean, they're taking your talent that he gave you and you're utilizing it.
Yes.
And you are a vessel for him. You are a spokesperson for him.
I'm a representative.
And you're representing him. So these doors are opening up.
So they open up. Yeah. But there are things that we have to do. But I learned a lot from various individuals, especially when it comes to presentation. When you go onto the stage, and for women, how you're dressed. We have to represent. Various functions require various different styles, different attire.
Yes.
When I had a concert at First Church of God at North Shore in 2009, I changed my clothes. So, you know, folks like, oh, she changed her clothes. At the very last section of the concert, I had found this beautiful red gown and with a matching wrap, and I walked out into First Church, and the audience literally just,
wow.
And I heard, it was a friend of mine, he said at the very back, "You go, girl! You go, girl!" And my youngest daughter said, and I said to the audience, I said, "Y'all know I had to change my clothes." And I just did a twirl. So my daughter said, I was like, "Yeah, Mommy, you go ahead, just do the twirl, just show them that dress." But we are representatives, like you said, we are representatives of the kingdom. We have to let the world know who we are as Christians and how we can represent, how we are to look, how we are to present ourselves. But one thing I also found that's very important, after a concert, a performance, you know, folks like to come and talk with you and, you know, just to be close to you. You have to be a people person.
Yes.
You have to have an appreciation for people who want to come and literally touch you. I said, because they're looking at you or anyone and thinking, "Oh my gosh, how did she do that?
Yes.
How did she sing that way?" And then they realize that, oh my gosh, like she's just like me. She laughs.
Exactly.
She's, you know, you're not
not
someone
above.
who's yes,
not above
you know,
That's right.
this is who I am. Yeah. I'm just using what God has given me, and which is an amazing thing for me.
Actually, I want to change that statement. It's just now become more of a pet peeve for me when people use the word use. Now I think he's utilizing you.
Yes.
I truly believe that, because I know Toni Robinson, the person. I also know Toni Robinson, the gospel singer, because I've watched you grow. I was there when you, well, I won't say when you sang your first note, that your mom was there for that. But I know what you've been through coming up to this point.
Oh, yes.
You know, because we went through those things, you know, singing, like you said, singing in the choir,
yes.
and traveling up to Soundview Road to the sister church up there and singing as well, Ruth Seaton James, the old Ruth Seaton James,
yes.
Rosebank Theater as well, you know. So we've been around the circuit, you know, doing those things, and we know the struggles, but we also know the ups of it as well. And I think you're now at that point of
yes.
going up, up, and up.
Yeah.
Toni, thank you so much for being here on Backstage. Truly appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
So what is before we go, what is going to be the name of your album?
Tentatively, God Is.
Okay. You know, and that says it all. Because you can tack on anything you want after
Absolutely.
that. God is great, God is good all the time and all the time.
Yes, God is good.
God is good. Thank you so much for joining us here on Backstage. My guest, Ms. Toni Robinson, gospel singer. We have a song coming up for you next by her. I believe, where was it recorded to?
This was recorded at Heritage Worship Center.
Okay.
And it's entitled Amazing Grace.
I wonder where that came from.
One in the Sun, Bermuda. And I'd just like to say really quickly, this was a vision that the late pastor Ronald C.E. Smith had, and it was a joy. It was a joy. And that's the song.
That's the song.
Amazing
All
Grace.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Toni Robinson and Amazing Grace. See you next time on Backstage. I'm your host, Mr. Magic. Have a good evening.